Hello everybody, this is Christopher Houston. I'm presenting my final project for GEO 6938 here at University of Florida. I apologize for any background noise. It's my CPU fan, and hopefully that won't get any louder. Alright, let's get started. I will bring up the proposal. The proposal for what I submitted earlier involves a tool. This tool is basically using certain tools within ArcMap Pro to replicate and do a lot of processes basically in the background, which takes a lot of time. All of these processes for taking aerial features and scattering point features inside them to then apply to a 3D model and produce a virtual terrain with it. And here's a few of the bullet points of things that I hope to do with this. So go ahead and minimize that for now. This was actually quite an undertaking, a little bit maybe more than I should have bitten off, but I got actually pretty far with it. This is the original model that I created in ArcMap Pro. This will basically take a aerial shapefile, and which you can see right here. This is a shapefile which was taken from a land use vector, and it basically just represents areas of trees that we're going to use as our input. And we're going to take this information, hopefully, and we're going to apply a calculate area to it, and then we're going to figure out the best possible scatter for each of these. It'll give the user a chance to basically decide whether or not they want to have a high or a low density number of scatter points, and then it'll produce an output shapefile for that. Running this on a parameter for any shapefile that's in here, it actually takes a little while, so I'm not going to run it right now, but you can see adding fields, calculating the geometry, then basically producing another scatter shapefile. And then after that it's applying some fields as per the proposal. One field would be a code field, which can be used to represent a series of models, and then a model field, which were the actual model 3D models, in this case open flight models, which are just 3D tree models, which will then apply to those point features. So exporting this actually got quite a lot of code, and it was a bit sloppy. Some of it worked, some of it did not, but I wanted it to be independent of the area inside, something that I didn't even need to start ArcGIS Pro necessarily to run. So here, let me go ahead and open up what I've got. Are actually ended up being 3 Python scripts. Each of those is being referenced here by the main GUI, which is the user input. As you can see, it imports my other 2 scripts that I created, both point scatter setup and point scatter generate. And let's open those here. Point scatter generate. Okay. And this is a basic functionality here. It's going to print a title basically introducing the tool, and it's going to run a while loop which offers the user the chance to do this on several shapefiles if they want to, without having to reopen the tool again and again. Some of it probably requires a little bit of cleanup, but some of this stuff is in here just for testing their multiple print statements, that I can see, how the code goes along, and when it crashes, exactly where it's crashing. This is going to prompt you to enter the shapefile name, and then it'll run it through the point scatter setup, and this will take let's expand that out to here, and basically create the actual new shapefile, and it's going to calculate the geometry and add a few fields to it. And then after that it will run the point scatter generate after it asks you whether or not you want high or low density. So, and that's going to pass this user density variable right here, scatter density. After that, it'll run through the second Python, or the third, I should